Alright folks, gather round. We're about to embark on a journey through the fascinating and often confusing world of tariffs. Tonight, we're diving into the wacky world of tariffs. These are the taxes that governments impose on goods as they cross international borders. You know, those pesky little taxes governments slap on goods coming from other countries. They can make a big difference in the price you pay. They're like the bouncers of international trade, deciding who gets in and how much they gotta pay. Imagine them as gatekeepers, ensuring that only those who pay the toll can pass. Think of it like this. You're buying a fancy new phone, right? It's sleek, it's shiny, and it's got all the latest features. But instead of it being made in your country, it's coming from halfway across the world. It travels through various checkpoints and customs. Now, your government, in all its wisdom, decides to add a little something extra to the price. This extra cost is meant to level the playing field for local manufacturers. That, my friends, is a tariff. It's a way for governments to control the flow of goods and protect their economies. Now you might be thinking, why on earth would they do that? Why make things more expensive for consumers? Well, there are a few reasons, some more sensible than others. Governments use tariffs to protect their own industries from foreign competition. They also use tariffs to raise some extra cash for the state coffers, which can be used for public services and infrastructure, or even punish other countries for not playing by the rules. It's a tool in the diplomatic arsenal used to exert pressure and negotiate better terms. But as with most things in life, tariffs come with their own set of pros and cons. They can protect jobs but also lead to higher prices for consumers. And we're gonna break them down for you right here, right now. So buckle up and get ready to understand the intricate dance of international trade and tariffs. Let's imagine two countries, shall we? We'll call them Fantasia and Realistica. Fantasia is known for its, well, fantastical toys, all handcrafted and beautifully made. Realistica, on the other hand, churns out cheap plastic toys by the truckload. Now, let's say Realistica wants to sell its mountain of plastic gizmos in Fantasia. Without tariffs, those cheap toys would flood the market, undercutting Fantasia's local toy makers. To protect its own industry, Fantasia decides to impose a hefty tariff on those imported plastic toys. Suddenly, those cheap toys aren't so cheap anymore. The tariff makes them more expensive, giving Fantasia's own toy makers a fighting chance. Consumers in Fantasia might grumble about the higher prices, but at least their local toy makers aren't going out of business. See, that's the thing about tariffs. They are often misunderstood and can be quite controversial. But when you break it down, tariffs are essentially taxes on imported goods. They can be a lifeline for struggling industries, especially in the face of cheaper imports. When local industries are unable to compete with low-cost foreign products, they risk shutting down, leading to job losses and economic decline. By making foreign goods more expensive, tariffs give domestic producers a competitive edge, allowing them to stay afloat and keep people employed. This can lead to a more robust local economy, with more jobs and better wages for workers. It's like giving your local team home field advantage. They might not win every game, but at least they've got a fighting chance on their own turf. Tariffs can also encourage companies to set up shop within a country, creating more jobs and boosting the economy. When businesses see that they can compete more effectively, they are more likely to invest in local production facilities. Plus, let's not forget about the government's cut. Those tariffs bring in some sweet revenue which can be used to fund all sorts of things from infrastructure projects to social programs. This revenue can be a significant source of funding for public services, helping to build schools, hospitals, and roads, and improving the overall quality of life for citizens. So, in a way, tariffs can be seen as a way for governments to invest in their own countries and their people. They help protect jobs, encourage local production, and generate revenue for public services, creating a more self-sufficient and resilient economy. But hold your horses, folks, because it's not all sunshine and rainbows in tariff land. While tariffs might seem like a good way to protect local industries, they come with a hefty price tag. Remember those grumbling consumers in Fantasia? Well, they've got a point. When tariffs are imposed, the cost of imported goods rises, and that increase is often passed down to the everyday shopper. Tariffs often lead to higher prices for everyone, as businesses pass on the extra cost to their customers. This means that everything from groceries to electronics can become more expensive, squeezing household budgets, and if everyone starts slapping tariffs on everything, well, that's when things get really messy. The global market becomes a battleground with each country trying to outdo the other. We're talking trade wars, folks, with countries going back and forth, raising tariffs and retaliating until nobody's buying anything from anyone. This tit-for-tat escalation can lead to severe disruptions in global supply chains. This can cripple international trade, stifle economic growth, and leave everyone worse off. Businesses may shut down, jobs can be lost, and economies can shrink. Plus, tariffs can sometimes protect inefficient industries, stifling innovation and preventing consumers from accessing the best and cheapest goods available. This protectionism can lead to a lack of competitiveness in the global market. It's a delicate balancing act, folks, and one that governments don't always get right. The challenge is to find a way to protect local